This is the kind of stuff I only find in the thrift store once in a blue moon, and it always makes me smile when I do. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and this was the first thing I saw when we walked into the thrift store. I love these. I think $179 for something that is potentially full of dangerous chemicals. Well, it's out of my price range. My husband and I had one of these hanging on the wall in the last apartment we lived in, and neither one of us has any clue what happened to it. It was on the wall, we moved, and then we didn't think about it for decades. So hopefully, somewhere in a box in my attic or my barn, I've got an awesome old fire extinguisher. Or when we got robbed while we were moving from our previous house to this house, somebody else got my awesome old fire extinguisher. I will hold hope that it is lurking someplace and not be tempted to spend a lot of money replacing it because I don't need one. I can like looking at them without needing one. This thing caught my eye, and at first I thought it was going to be my husband's Christmas present. And then I looked at it a little harder, and then I got really, really confused. According to the research I did after we got home, it is a Thomas Home Phonograph Collector's Edition. The AM/FM radio confused me at first because that thingamabob on the top is supposed to play old cylinder phonographs, and those came way before the radio. And maybe you are already seeing the thing that I did not see until my daughter pointed it out to me. Because the dead giveaway that something is really weird going on here, that's a cassette tape player. I've seen lots of the record players that are designed to look like old ones. I think like 3 members of my family have them. But why did they make one that played the old cylinder records? I only found one listing for one of these online. They did not know if that thing actually works or if the cylinder player thingy is just for decoration, and I left it behind at the store to baffle someone else. But that was this trip's thing I have never seen before in a thrift store and didn't even know existed. It's always fun to find those. Checking the vases for milk glass like I always do. Somebody painted this ceramic teddy bear and he is cute. My brain wants those to be ball joint arms and legs, even though I know perfectly well that it is ceramic and they are not going to move. Somebody donated some really cute owls and mice on a boot, and those mice had fur on them. And there's another really cute owl. I could get very into owls. And these are those little collectible figurines that used to come in tea boxes. My middle son was collecting those for a while. He found one or two at an estate sale, and then we went to Value Village and someone had donated their entire collection. So we got probably 100 of them for $14. I need to find out where those went to because I think the novelty of them has worn off, and I probably should make sure they are in a safe place because he may want them later, and if he doesn't want them later, I will happily take over the collection and preserve it because I remember when I was a little kid having little tiny ceramic figurines and playing with them, and they all had names and personalities, and it's the kind of thing an 8-year-old girl does. Don't judge me. Would you buy a electric modern pressure cooker from the thrift store? I can't read the tag. I think that was like $60, and I'm not sure. I know that it's much less than they cost new. Probably the prices of them, I think, new are falling, but to buy something not knowing if it would work, in my mind, There has to be a really, really steep price discount for me to make it feel like it's worth taking the risk. That is the one piece of milk glass I found all day. And it would have been half off and it would have been $1. And yeah, that maybe should have come home with me, but the thought didn't even cross my mind. That'd be cute for keeping orts in while I was stitching. I have been looking for Norman Rockwell coffee cups because I can justify those a lot easier than I could justify collector plates. For some reason, this was not the one. I don't know why. I don't spend the little voice in my head says, nope, not this one, not today. And it's probably a good thing that I listen to those little nudges and don't bring home everything that I like from the thrift store because, wow, you could go broke fast doing that. My daughter was shopping with me and we had an absolute blast just wandering through the couple of thrift stores we shopped at, and we went to Michael's and Joann's and looked for Halloween stuff and did our grocery shopping because if you're going to go into town and you do your grocery shopping the same day, that means you didn't spend gas money going to the thrift stores. That is my logic, at least, and I'm gonna stick to it, even if it means I'm shopping in a grocery store in a town in completely the opposite direction I usually go to. Winco is Winco, and they are both the same distance from the house, so we have decided that we are going to alternate between the Albany Winco and the Springfield Winco, and that will work out. Okay, really, really old Red Heart yarn for 79 cents a skein. It is probably a safe guess that that yarn I am holding there is older than I am. Not the Karen, but the first two. So when you look at that, I know the yardage in those skeins is more, but you can get brand new yarn at the Dollar Tree for $1 a skein. Or you can get yarn at estate sales that is way newer and the same price, if not cheaper. So I've gotten really picky when I am thrift store shopping for yarn. It is a basket of loose buttons with no price, and that just seems like a recipe for disaster when someone's kids get in there. Look at the cradle, look at the cradle, look at the cradle. I could quite easily fall in love with the painting on the side of this thing. I love the flowers more than I love the angels. It had a great big sign saying it was for decoration only. I would totally put my baby in that. And maybe I shouldn't admit that on the internet. I had one of those for my oldest son, and it is now up in my sewing room full of quilts, and I just like it's a family heirloom that could be, or I'll get rid of it. I haven't decided yet. How many times have I told you guys that sooner or later I was going to bring one of these little resin cottages home? This trip, I found the one I couldn't leave behind. Look at it. Look at all the little bitty stones and the windows and the roses covering it, and the fact that it is shaped like a teapot. It has a tree for a handle, and I can't quite gush enough about this dumb little thing. This is, I guess what I was waiting for was a little resin house shaped like a teapot with a tree for a handle. And it was $2, and so that doesn't require a whole lot of internal debate. I don't know why it has little gold rosettes or a ribbon glued to it or hot glue in the T-spout, but I am reasonably sure that we can get those off of there. And I went out to my lunch with my mom and took my little fabulous teapot house to show her. I've been trying to figure out for months now. When I was a teenager, my mom collected Precious Moments and then Cherished Teddies, and the store that she bought them from was Das Hausenberg in Salem, Oregon. It was like an Aladdin's cave of wonderful, fantastic collectibles, and they had these amazingly intricate little resin cottages. And after looking at all the cottages and all the thrift stores, I finally traced my urge to buy them back to those cottages, which I loved at the time. I wanted one so bad. But then I couldn't remember what the name of them was. And I asked my mom if by any crazy chance she would remember what I was overlooking at while she was in there doing her thing. They are David Winter cottages. And it's been 30 some years, and a lot of things that were once collectible and expensive are now turning up in the thrift stores. And so now I know that I am looking for a David Winter cottage. And if I'm patient and I go to enough stores, I'm pretty convinced I will find them, especially since I just looked on eBay and clicked the under $15, and there are a lot of them out there. But I want to find one in the wild at a thrift store or an estate sale, because that's way more fun than finding something on eBay. Wish me luck. I am hoping there will be another perfect little resin cottage in my future. Thank you for thrifting with me. Thank you for putting up with my weird obsessions. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle. And I will be back to share more videos with you soon.